Have you ever wondered what women really want? According to one of history's greatest philosophers, they all want the same thing, and it's not love, money, or attention. Once you understand this, your relationships with women will change forever. This is the shocking message Schopenhauer left you about women. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe for more videos like this. Also, don't forget to leave a comment below with your opinion about what women want. We would love to hear from you. Now let's begin. Arthur Schopenhauer was born in 1788 and died in 1860. He was an influential German philosopher whose work focused on a pessimistic view of life. He believed that the world was driven by a blind and irrational force that he called the will. According to him, the will is a striving, a blind and insatiable desire for something beyond itself, which can never be satisfied. Schopenhauer thought that the will manifests itself in everything in the world, both animate and inanimate, and that it is the source of all suffering. One of the most controversial aspects of his philosophy is his views on women. In his essay, The Art of Seduction, he discusses the nature of female sexuality and their desire for men. It is important to note that Schopenhauer lived in a time when women were considered inferior to men and were denied many of the same rights and opportunities. His views on women were shaped by the social norms and beliefs of his time and should be considered within that context. However, despite being over 150 years old, his ideas still cause quite a stir even today. In his essay, Schopenhauer states that the whole object of the female is nothing else than to bring forth children, which she is enabled to do by the intercourse with the male. According to him, this is the only purpose of a woman's existence, and everything else is secondary. He also believes that women are naturally more passive than men, and that they need to be seduced in order to engage in sexual activity. According to Schopenhauer, the main reason why women want sex is because they have an urge to have children. To put it simply, he believed that the ultimate goal of every woman is to get pregnant and have a baby. Now, even though this might seem like a pretty straightforward and biological statement, it's actually quite radical if you think about it. For most of human history, there were many reasons why people had sex, but having kids wasn't one of them. People had sex for pleasure, for bonding, for power, and only sometimes for procreation. But nowadays, with modern birth control methods, having kids isn't exactly on the top of everyone's list. And yet Schopenhauer was already onto something here. Having children is one of the most meaningful things a person can experience, but it's definitely not for everyone. So while it may be true that some women only want to have kids, to say that this is the only reason women want sex is quite a stretch. Schopenhauer also believes that women are naturally more passive than men, and that they need to be seduced in order to engage in sexual activity. He thought that women were naturally more passive than men, and that they needed to be seduced in order to engage in sexual activity. This is where things get really interesting. Even though Schopenhauer believed that women only wanted sex for one reason, he still believed that they needed a little push in the right direction. He believed that women were naturally more passive than men, and that they needed to be seduced in order to engage in sexual activity. This means that, according to Schopenhauer, men needed to take the lead when it came to sex, and that women were not capable of initiating sexual activity themselves. He also believed that women were more calculating than men, and that they used their sexuality as a weapon to get what they wanted. So let's unpack this a bit. On one hand, Schopenhauer seems to suggest that women are more passive beings who just want to have babies and need a man to help them out. On the other hand, he also says that women are more calculating than men and know exactly what they want. These two images seem pretty contradictory, but maybe Schopenhauer was onto something here as well. Women can be seen as more passive, but at the same time more calculating than men. Women tend to be more nurturing and less aggressive than men. But when it comes to playing the game of seduction, they can be just as manipulative as anyone else. It's easy to think of women as one homogeneous group, but every woman is an individual with her own unique desires and goals. While it may be true that some women are looking for a baby and some aren't, some want a casual fling and some are looking for something more serious. It is important to remember that not all women are the same, and that each one is an individual with her own unique desires and goals. But let's go back to Schopenhauer's idea that women are more calculating than men. He thought that women were better at playing the game of seduction than men, and that they used their sexuality as a weapon to get what they wanted. Now, this is a pretty controversial statement, especially coming from someone as respected as Schopenhauer, but there may be some truth to his words. Women have been objectified and harassed for centuries just for existing in public spaces. And it is no secret that women who are more comfortable with their sexuality tend to face more societal backlash than men who are. Women who choose to embrace their sexuality and desire are often labeled as sluts or whores, while men who do the same are seen as studs or players. This double standard may have led Schopenhauer to believe that women who use their sexuality to their advantage are more calculating than men. So let's take a step back and analyze Schopenhauer's argument here. It's true that women have been objectified and harassed for centuries just for existing in public spaces. And it is also true that women who choose to embrace their sexuality and desire are often labeled with negative terms. If this is the case, then it makes sense that Schopenhauer believed that women were more calculating than men. After all, if a woman wants to survive in a world where she is constantly being judged and harassed for her sexuality, she needs to be careful about how she presents herself to others. On the other hand, men haven't faced the same kind of societal backlash for embracing their sexuality, so they haven't had to develop the same kind of calculating nature. Now, this doesn't mean that all women are more calculating than men, or that all men are simple and straightforward. There are plenty of men who are calculating and manipulative, just like there are women who are innocent and straightforward. But as a general rule, it can be said that women have had to develop a more calculating nature in order to survive in a patriarchal society that often judges and punishes them for their sexuality. Another aspect of Schopenhauer's argument is the idea that women are more concerned with appearances than men. He believed that women are more concerned with appearances than men and use their beauty and youth as a way to gain power and control. According to Schopenhauer, women are more concerned with appearances than men and use their beauty and youth as a way to gain power and control. This is another controversial statement, but there may be some truth to it. Women are often judged based on their appearance and are expected to conform to certain beauty standards. This can lead women to be more concerned with their looks than men. Additionally, women's beauty and youth are often seen as valuable commodities that can be used to gain power and control in a patriarchal society. This means that women who are more beautiful and younger are often more desirable and have more power than those who are less beautiful or older. If this is the case, then it makes sense that Schopenhauer believed that women were more concerned with appearances than men. After all, if your beauty and youth are seen as valuable commodities, then it is in your best interest to take care of your looks and use them to your advantage. However, it's important to note that this doesn't mean that all women are vain and superficial. There are plenty of women who are more concerned with inner beauty and character than outer appearances. But as a general rule, it can be said that women are more concerned with their looks than men due to the patriarchal society we live in. So there you have it, the shocking message Schopenhauer left you about women. What do you think? Is there any truth to his controversial statements? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Thanks for watching.